What's up guys, welcome back to RB and Hardware. Today we'll be looking at the best budget gaming GPUs in 2022 for 1080p at max settings and 1440p gaming. If you're looking for the best budget 1080p GPU, please don't pay $300 to $400 for an RX 6500 XT when you can simply find a 8GB RX 580 on the second market for about $200, and this GPU will actually handle most games at 1080p gaming. I actually uploaded a video just a week ago covering the best 1080p GPUs up to $200 worth considering, and we are looking at both new GPUs and graphics cards from the used market. You'll find that video linked up down below. In this video, we'll be focusing on the best picks worth considering above $200 up to the $500 mark. I'm gonna present to you the best top GPU picks right now, with detailed benchmarks showing you what to expect in terms of performance in some of the most popular games, so you get a good understanding how each GPU performs. Now, as always, for the latest and best pricing, you can find all GPUs linked up down below. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I release a new video 2 to 3 times a week covering PC hardware, monitors, as well as graphics card benchmarks. With that said, let's dive into the video. And let's be honest here guys, the market has been a bit upside down for the past 2 years. Shortage has led to inflated pricing on all GPUs, with prices skyrocketing to 100% over MSRP on many cards. Nvidia GPUs does seem to have been taking the biggest hit here, but Radeon based graphics cards are also suffering greatly as well. There are, however, great deals that you can make. Let's start having a look at my first recommendation, the GTX 1660 Super, which currently can be had for $375 on the retail market, which at its current price is actually a historical low. Looking at the price history, this GPU hasn't been sold for this low since November of 2020. Now keep in mind guys, the 1660 Super launched with a $230 price tag, but considering the current situation, $370 USD is pretty good with all things considered. But what about the second-hand market? Well, the cheapest ones do seem to have been sold for about $300, so in other words, not a massive discount. Let's take a look at the performance. The GPU is capable of running most games at respectable quality settings at both 1080p and 1440p, and thanks to the fact that it's got 6 gigs worth of VRAM, it is quite future-proof as well. And the bottom line, the 1660 Super is more or less a slightly slower clocked RTX 3050 without ray tracing. Now at this price point, another option worth considering will be the RX 5500 XT, and should also be considered as a possible alternative, but only if you're able to snag one below $300, which currently does seem quite difficult. So you might be thinking, why shouldn't you spend $300 for a 5500 XT? Well, for the same money, you can actually have the RTX 2060, which arguably is a better GPU, as it not only offers great 1080p and 1440p performance, it also does ray tracing quite well, and it supports DLSS, which more games are starting to support, and in my opinion, this is a feature worth spending a bit extra for. However, as a heads up guys, don't bother looking into picking up a 2060 at the retail market unless you're willing to spend upwards of $600. Pretty crazy. Anyway, to sum things up guys, if you're looking to buy from retail, consider the GTX 1660 Super for $375. Now you can save a few pennies here by picking up one from the used market, or you can consider the RTX 2060, which is beating the GTX 1660 Super but can only be purchased at sites like eBay. So with that said, let's move on, and let's say you got a little bit more to spend. Let's start with eBay. For around the $500 mark, you can actually pull the trigger on the RTX 2060 Super or the RX 5600 XT. In terms of performance, the GTX 2060 Super is a bit faster. However, the 5600 XT is a little bit cheaper and has been sold for as low as $400, while the 2060 Super seems to average around $100 more. At the end of the day, thanks to the 2060 Super's strong ray tracing performance and the premium features like DLSS super sampling technology, makes the 2060 Super the better pick, but that is just my opinion, of course. Let's move on to the retail market. Here your target will be either the AMD Radeon RX 6600 or the RTX 3050. Now the RX 6600 is a very interesting budget GPU that right now can be had for as low as $450 on Amazon, which is actually less than what you have to pay for an RTX 3050, which is currently sitting at around $500. Now you might be thinking, what about the RTX 3060? Well, although the 3060 is supposed to play in the same league as the 6600, in reality it doesn't. Now the 3060 has an MSRP of $330, however, if you would like to buy it right now, you have to pay upwards of $650 on eBay or over $700 on the retail market, and that is just sad to see, and unfortunately that makes the 3060 not even worth considering. In other words, right now, there's pretty much only two alternatives, either the RX 6600 or the RTX 3050. Looking at the benchmarks, the 6600 is trending close with the 3060 and several titles, although the 3060 does seem to be a slight bit faster on average. Against the RTX 3050, however, it is a clear win for Team Red. Now, that being said, if you've been looking into features like DLSS and you basically want solid ray tracing performance, you won't find that on a Radeon based GPU, and there is actually a way that you can pick up the RTX 3050 for the same $450 price tag. And if we look at the second-hand market, yes, we can see that it can actually be had for $450 to $460. Keep in mind guys, this is still a hefty premium you're paying for a card that has an MSRP of $250. As we can see from the benchmarks, the 3050 is quite not up to speed with the 6600 when it comes to traditional rasterization, and to be specific, it is about 20% slower than the 6600 around the same price tag, which makes it sound like a pretty bad deal. However, it is important to keep in mind guys that Nvidia has also fitted the 3050 with dedicated ray tracing and tensor cores, and as we can see this has a significant impact on the performance, and in my opinion this will be the buying argument for the 3050. Now in Far Cry 6, where DLSS isn't available, the 6600 wins by a few percent. However, where DLSS is actually available, in Cyberpunk for example, DLSS can actually be a game changer, and in this example actually makes the 6600 look quite weak in comparison. It should be said though guys that not all games do support DLSS, but the list of games being supported is actually quite impressive, and it's growing week by week. It should also be said though that AMD is also offering a DLSS alternative called Fidelity FX Super Resolution. While this hasn't proven itself to be as good as Nvidia's offering, AMD is continuously optimizing Fidelity FX to make the technology as competitive as Nvidia's solution, but as of right now, Nvidia has the better scaling solution. And there you basically have it guys. For the latest and best pricing, have a look down below. If you got any questions, please let me know, I will do my best to help you guys out. In the meantime, watch either of these two videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.